Alright, back on the old 79 Z28. So I've cut this driver's floor pan out. It's not as bad as the other side, but still gonna replace it, most of it anyway. The rocker on this side is really good as well. I removed this trim that was rusting. You can see all the undercoating in there, so it's all the oil spray. So at one time it was taken care of, I guess, but yeah, so I've cut that out and I've made up this floor pan right here. So that's going to go in there, sit in place, kind of like so. Push it down tight. I'm going to weld it right across there. Weld it into here and then bend these flaps down onto the floor. Bend this down around over that cross member like I did on the other side, and weld it up and along the toe board. So pretty simple to make, little floor pan. So wasn't too complicated. So there's some rusting around these seat holes again, very minimal. So what I'm going to do is tack this in, get that welded in, and then I'm going to run another piece from this probably back to here, cover this whole thing in with holes left out for the seats to go back in, because I don't feel like that's a big deal. So I'm just going to grind that down and just cover it. I could just do it in 2 patches, but I'll probably just run 1 patch right over, give it some more strength. Yeah, and then we should be good to go on this side anyway. So I'm going to start tacking this in and banging it into place. I'm going to clean up some paints first so I can weld to, and go from there. Alright, so I've started tacking this in. Started hitting it along here, bent some of this down around this bend here. Stuck a screwdriver under here and gave it a little bend like that, so I miss those bolts under there. And I'll do the same thing. I'm going to take a sliver off of this, I think, because it's overlapping a bit, and then bend it down and weld it. I've hit it up there a few times just to hold it, but I'm bending it in as I go. I've hit it in here a few times just to hold the pan in place. But yeah, and then I'm gonna make, like I said, another piece probably that big. I don't know, 6 or 7 inch strip just to go across there, cover those, put 2 holes in it for where the seat bolts go through, and that'll be it for that. I'll grind all this up so it's nice and clean. I probably should pick up some weld through primer just so I can hit these spots as I'm welding over them, but you know, what are you gonna do? It is what it is. But it's coming along. I think it looks pretty good. By the time I get it all banged in place, it'll definitely be a floor pan. So, and then what I'll do after the fact, after it's all welded in, I will go underneath the car. I have a hoist outside sitting in the snow. I can show you. Well, actually I can't show you because windows are frozen. It's really cold and rainstorm here today. Icy rainstorm, so you really can't show you. Anyway, I'll go underneath, put it up on the hoist and go underneath, and I'll weld in any other panels in, bang them in tight and weld up in there if I need to, and then I'll seam seal it all and either fiberglass it or rock guard it, or you know, rhino guard it, box liner stuff, whatever. But I'm gonna keep plugging away at this for now. Alright, so I got most of that banged in place. I ended up wrapping this down around, so it's just got a tiny little hump here now. I stretched the metal down. I'm just gonna weld it, and then I'm gonna have to put a little sliver in here because it was a little bit short. But other than that, I guess I could bad chat it and coat hanger it, but a little sliver in on this side. I tried to bend it down, but there wasn't enough metal. So I'll do a little sliver there, little sliver there, little sliver there. And then I'm gonna bend this down and around, and that'll be it. After I'll do this piece, and then that'll be it for this floor pan. The back, I still got to put a little piece in there. I did all that the other day. But I wanted to use, I only have a little bit of metal left, so I wanted to use the big piece here before I started cutting up the small pieces to put a piece in there. And like I said, I don't think the middle is going to need any. It's pretty solid. I'm going to wire wheel it, put a wire wheel on my grinder disc and wire wheel it and see what happens. But this is looking pretty good. Lots of welding left, but other than that, it's looking pretty good. So I have all these scrap pieces, which I'll probably just bang into place. Find a piece that fits like that, cut it out. Same with this, maybe just run a piece right there, trace it off, cut it out, and you're good to go. Or I could even just go like that, put a ramp, but I'll probably just do this just as easy. Trim it off with the grinder, and that'll be, just weld it right there, trim it off, and good to go. Same over here, just lap weld a piece over. I got all these little scraps to use up, so why not? And then we'll be laughing. Alright, so I put a little triangle in up there, welded that up there, put that piece in and trimmed it off. I started doing a little more welding there. Another little triangle piece in there. I just welded it in, and I'm happy with that because it doesn't really matter. As long as it's in there and it's tight and welded solid, it doesn't really matter what it looks like underneath the carpet, to me anyway. So now I'm going to cut this piece to go across here, and then weld that in, clean it up around here a bit. And so I'm just going to do a simple rectangular piece, probably 19, measured it out 19 by 7. Should work fine. And stomp it out in the old brake, or the old shear. I have to line up some holes so I can drill for the seat holes, but that's gonna go like that. I'm gonna overlap it a bit, so I made it a little large. I'm gonna put a brake on this so it'll come up on the rocker, and same thing, I'll start tacking it in and I'll just bend it down around as I go. That should work. So I'm going to do the brake first, and then I'll figure out where my holes are going to need to be for the seats. So it's not going to be much of a brake, probably, I don't know, 1.5 inches. Probably right there. Gonna look good, I think. So, and just a small bend on it. It's not going to take much. Something like that, maybe. Oh yeah, that'll do. Forgot I had to bend it down here and then back up, but that's fine. It'll work out. Yeah, all right. I'm gonna measure out some holes for the seats, and then I'm gonna start tagging this in. Alright, so I got it mostly in. It's my one hole lined up. This one is a little off, the other one's right there. I didn't take into account for this dive here. I guess pulled it back a bit, but I can just widen that hole. That hole, not a big deal. Yeah, started tacking it all in. I got it tacked in there. It's a little wonky. Should have probably did what I did on the other side. I bent this in around really tight and it looks kind of ugly, but especially here I got a little dive because this went too low. But otherwise, I mean, like I said, the carpet and stuff going back in here, and it's not really going to matter. So yeah, not too bad, I guess. For this was just a leftover metal I had. I still got to obviously do more welding, but this was just a leftover metal I had. I didn't want to buy another sheet just to do this, so I made it work. And I got one more piece to do back here, like I said, right there. That's all done in there. But yeah, that piece is all done. I tied it back into there. So it's just this little piece here now. It's not a big deal. I should have enough metal left to do that as well. And then I'll be out of metal, so I'll have to buy something for the next one. But anyway, that's it for tonight. I hope everybody's having a great day and had a great weekend and all that, and have a good day.